Explain, build, deploy, and process in SSAS. If the interviewer decided to know whether you have a basic knowledge on SSAS concepts, then you can get this question. So a person who has knowledge or who has working experience on SQL Server analysis services, and if you can't answer this question, then you can, the interviewer will confirm that you don't have real-time experience or you are with fake experience. So let's discuss about these three topics in this video. What is the difference between build, deploy, and process? First, let's start with build. And you find all these three options here. When you right click on the solution, you'll find build, rebuild, deploy, and process options. Also, when you right click on the dimensions or a couple of other objects like partitions and cube, you will find the option called process. So what is build first? Build is, it's a common terminology in almost all the software programming languages and tools. Build will check for syntax errors. Let's say, for example, if I click on build, you can see here it checks for build, and if it is successful, then you will get a message saying build succeeded on the left bottom where my mouse is highlighting. So what it basically will do is it will go and check for syntactical errors. If there is any syntactical errors, then it will throw an error message saying that there is an error on particular object. Please correct it before going ahead with deployment and process. So build is the first step of the processing, to be honest. And what it will do is, in short, it will check for syntax errors. For example, if you go to the product dimension and let me take out this large photo, and the large photo is not of data type which is compatible for designing an attribute. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going for a large photo and try to create an attribute with that. Here you can see it already throwing an error saying that the binary data type is not allowed for the key columns. Now, without knowing that, without observing that, if I go and check for the build, it will go and check all the objects that you have created, and it will throw an error if there is any error message or any syntactical error like the binary data type is not allowed for the key columns, and it is in the dimension attribute product of large photo. So what you need to do here is you have to remove the attribute because you know this data type is not supported, and just rebuild it. Build or rebuild, both will do. You can see here the rebuild all succeeded because there is no syntactical errors. So this is what build will do. Now let's talk about deploy. What deploy will do is deploy will take the structure that you have created for the SSAS project and deploy to the server. Where that server and with what name it will deploy. These are the questions that will come into your mind. So when you go to the properties here, the server, whatever you specified and the deployment tab page here, it will go and deploy in that particular server. I've given localhost, and if let's say you are working in a project where a lot of systems are connected in the intranet, you can provide the server name like XYZABC and provide the database name, then it will go and deploy the structure in the particular server. If you see here, I'm giving the name test in the local host. Now if I go on click on select deploy, then it will try to deploy the structure to the server. You can see the error message, deployment completed successfully, and you can see the structure has been copied to the server localhost, the analysis server in my local computer in this particular example. Let me show you that in SSMS. So here I connected to the SSMS, and you can see the database that has been deployed to the structure. What deployment will do actually is it will take the skeleton of your analysis service project and it will deploy the complete skeleton to the server. And if you see here, it has taken the data source, whatever I've created, data source view, cube, and dimensions, whatever I have defined in my analysis service project. Now the third step is, if I click on process, what it will do is it will read the data if I select MOLAP. Okay, if my storage mode is MOLAP, what it will do is it will read the data and it will copy to my analysis server. If I select mole app, then it will create aggregations and indexes on the role app itself, because it won't read the data, as in role app the data will reside in the relational database. And if it is whole app, it will create aggregations and aggregations on analysis server side. So that's a different concept. What it will do, let's assume our storage mode is mole app. What it will do is it will read the data from your relational database, which you have given reference to in your data source, and it will copy the data into your analysis server under the data folder, wherever the path you have specified. While installing your analysis server, in the same data folder, the data will be read and all the data will be copied in the form of binary files. Now this is about all the the build, deploy, and processing options in analysis services. In short, the build will check for errors, deploy will deploy the skeleton of your analysis server project to the server, whatever server you specified under properties. And the third thing, process, what it will do is it will read the data and fill the skeleton. In short, it will read the data and it will fill the skeleton, and it will create aggregations and indexes that are required. So that's it about the build, deploy, and process. Hope you understood the concepts, and stay tuned for more videos on SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS interview questions. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.